Greetings there, people of YouTube, this is Essence of Thought here. I'm just doing a quick video response to a certain woman after seeing a fellow atheist do a response to her. Yet I felt I could kind of chip in with some of my own information, as well as offer her a question. I am, of course, referring to Madeleine McAulay, the self-proclaimed future president. So, Miss Madeleine McAulay, play on.
This past Tuesday, May 8th, North Carolina passed a constitutional amendment that defines marriages between one man and one woman. Over 60% of North Carolinians believe that traditional marriage is the way to go. But unfortunately, North Carolina is now the bullseye for the left's hatred. The liberals and their media allies are trying to make this issue seem fresh, even though North Carolina is actually the 31st state to pass an amendment that defines marriages between one man and one woman.
Well, firstly, you do not understand democracy one bit, do you? Not a very good start for you. You seem to think that democracy is a majority overrules the minority, which, though correct to an extent, is a horribly simplified version. It's the kind of definition that allows people to call Hitler democratic, as he had the support of the majority. No, the democracy is the ruling of the majority, yet it cannot, and I repeat, cannot be at the expense of the minority's rights, thus showing what you are saying just to be a load of uneducated babble. As for making it seem new, if that seems so, maybe it's less to do with the fact that we're making it seem new, but more LGBT members are now able to speak out with less fear of physical violence and slander from the conservative right. As they say, carry on.
Sadly, people for the past few days have been saying things like, North Carolina sucks, North Carolina's on the wrong side of history, and my personal favorite, North Carolina is full of a bunch of bigots, so I'm moving. With all of this controversy, everyone was wondering what President Obama's thoughts were on this hot topic, especially considering that he skipped his trip to Asheville, North Carolina on Election Day to avoid these marriage questions. But have no fear, the president and his impeccable campaign timing came to the rescue by holding a press conference to give his thoughts on gay marriage. And I'm not going to lie, I was a bit shocked to hear how he came to his conclusion for support of gay marriage. His daughters? That's right, the President of the United States now looks to his young daughters to make major decisions. And what I don't understand is that the President is being praised for listening to his young daughters, and yet I, a 16-year-old, when I speak my mind, I'm ridiculed by the left. This makes no sense.
Well, I'm not going to lie, but getting your advice and inspiration from family members is far better than listening to some
invisible man living in the sky who watches everything you do every minute of every day. And the invisible man has a special list of 10 things he does not want you to do. And if you do any of these 10 things, he has a special place full of fire and smoke and burning and torture and anguish where he will send you to live and suffer and burn and choke and scream and cry forever and ever till the end of time. But he loves you.
I'm sorry, I just couldn't resist inserting Carlin for a second, but I hope you get the point. Fact is though, you lied, didn't you, anyway? And I'm sure that you knew you lied, or have just not watched the speeches themselves and just believe what the Republicans have been spewing out. LiveLife pointed out in his video this, so I shall link it down below. As for ridicule, funny, we're not ridiculing you for speaking your mind. We are ridiculing you, however, for not doing your research. You are attempting to spread hate with no justifiable backing, with resources or whatsoever, and I shall get into some of my own a little later, but no, we do not have to respond graciously to your hate speech, and fighting bigotry is not bigotry.
So let me just get this straight. If I'm young and I give in to the left's agenda, I'm praised, but if I'm young and I'm conservative, I'm evil? Now I want to be clear. I don't hate gay people, so stop trying to say that I do.
Like I haven't heard this one before. It's an automatic defense often used by some of the most hateful in an attempt to cover their backside. It was originally used in the US during the civil rights movements along the lines of, I don't hate black people, before tossing out a load of rubbish. Sorry, but that's very transparent and easy to see through.
I simply believe that traditional marriage is the most productive way and the biblical way to pursue a relationship. It is proven to be the healthiest environment for children. I also believe that marriage is not just some rite. It's making a covenant with God.
Well, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, however, it is not the most productive way. Now, studies have shown that same-sex male couples on average do better at raising children. The reason for this is there are no accidental pregnancies. A homosexual has to go through a process of adoption, and it's much more harder for them to get a child. As for same-sex females, it's a whole new league. I suggest checking out some of the papers links down below. Other ones can be found over the internet. However, I've just selected a few in particular. I hope it's enough, but at least I have some sources, not just a personal rant. The fact is, lesbian couples have been shown to raise rather well outgoing children who are a lot more confident and also a lot more socially adjustable and have lower rates of psychopathology. Just check it out.
A few days before the election, Reverend Billy Graham put things into perspective for a lot of people. He said, quote, "At 93, I never thought that we would have to have a debate on the definition of marriage. The Bible is clear. Marriage is between one man and one woman." End of quote. I want to live my life according to God's holy scriptures, and I want America to also. America is the most exceptional nation, and the reason for that is because of God's blessing. And yet, we are now straying away from God's word. We must stay true to our noble beginnings. We must come back to God. Ronald Reagan's quote has never been more relevant when he said, "If we ever forget that we are one nation under God, we will be a nation gone under."
Clearly you have never actually read the Bible. The Bible does not say that marriage is a union between one man and one woman. King Solomon, one of the 48 prophets, a man supposedly blessed by God, had 900 wives. This one-partner idea is a Western social construction, not a biblical one. You should also know that, as a woman, according to 1 Timothy 2:12, quote-unquote, "I do not permit a woman to teach or to have authority over man, she must be silent." Poof, there goes your dream of being president now as well as your vlogging career. Madeleine? Or should I say, Mom? Fact is, I'm personally rather insulted at your lack of knowledge on the whole country. As a man of Britain, I know far more about your historic background than you do. I would, however, just be repeating LiveLife's points if I went over them. Fact is, what you want to do gives you no right to impose your will over others. We have a saying in the LGBT community for what you are doing. A conservative wanting to ban gay marriage because they don't want one is like a person on a diet wanting to ban donuts as they don't want one. It makes no sense. And it shames me to know that in my generation such ignorance and hate still has a place and exists. But now I demand something of you. I am a gender-blind person. I fall in love for falling in love. I want you to make a video directly stating that you, Madeleine McAulay, of the conservative right, wish to take away the rights of people like myself. I demand a response on that note, otherwise you are but a coward. On a similar note, I'd like to do a call out for another individual who critiqued this video and has received death threats as a response from the Christian right here on YouTube. He goes by the username Kimmy Haynes. I shall post his channel and his video response down below. Please help support our comrade and remember, be civil in dispute. Allow the Christian right, aka the wrong, to be the ones who threaten. This is Essence of Ford, and as always, it has been much pleasure. Rate, comment and subscribe if you wish. Out.